Hello, and thank you for joining us with CEO to CEO. My name is David Swope. I'm the CEO and President of the Better Business Bureau, serving the New Mexico and Southwest Colorado. Joining me today as my guest is Carla Kugler with Associated Builders and Contractors. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks so much for coming over. For those that are watching that are not familiar with what Associated Builders and Contractors is, how would you describe it?
So I'll try and make it brief. Associated Builders and Contractors is a national association. We are a commercial construction trade association. And we try and be a one-stop shop for commercial contractors, whether that's keeping them up to date with regulatory affairs, doing business and networking. But our main focus is education. We build people. So we have a state-registered apprenticeship program. We have about 450 apprentices in 6 different trades. So we teach carpenters, electricians, plumbers, HVAC. So that is the biggest thing that we do. And along with our registered apprenticeship, we also do crew leadership and project management. Okay. We try and run the gamut on education and whatever our members need for their workforce.
Absolutely.
So building a skilled and trained workforce.
So I'm sure that continues to evolve. All the different changes, regulations, different licensings become required. Mm-hmm. So we just finished the legislative session.
Yeah.
Were there certain bills or anything that you were kind of looking at for your membership that were really important hot topics for them?
Well, one of them, at least for us as an organization, there was an apprenticeship funding bill.
Oh, great.
So yes, that was great. So 2 years ago, the legislature had put a real emphasis on apprenticeship programs and had put together a trust fund and to be doled out, a little bit at a time, like $2.5 million for 2 years, and then it was going to come back to $1.5 million for all of us apprenticeship programs to share, and then into perpetuity until the fund. And the State Investment Council does a great job with maintaining the funds, so we thought that it would be a while. They actually went back and put more money into that fund, and for us to be able to continue to have that $2.5 million for all apprenticeship programs to share. Wow. And one of the reasons why is apprenticeship in general is growing, which is great. It's a great fantastic model, right? The earn while you learn model is a wonderful way to get an education while doing. But because of that reason, because apprenticeship programs were growing, that means our kind of slice of the pie for state funding would get smaller and smaller because there would be more people to divvy up to. So, again, wonderful thing that apprenticeship is growing, but for us that kind of rely on it to help supplement some lab spaces and supplement instructor pay, that slice, getting smaller was an issue. So for them to kind of put that money emphasis, that was great. So for us as an organization, the apprenticeship funding for the legislature was a wonderful win, for us. Other things for our membership that was kind of unexpected, but just as equally important. There were 2 great tax incentive bills. One for gross receipts tax for anything with regards to multifamily affordable housing.
Nice.
Helps for development, helps construction, and also helps for our affordable housing issue. And another one that came up that passed, and I'm very pleased to say, was for low carbon emission construction materials.
Okay.
So instead of, which we love, is the carrot instead of the stick, right? So we're going to incentivize low carbon emission production and purchasing for buildings and all of those things, and we're going to give you guys a tax incentive to do that. So they have now created a by law. Now the I guess would be OSHA or the Energy Department, right? Will now kind of come up with those guardrails and what that looks like, and then they will incentivize contractors to purchase low carbon construction materials. So good for the planet, good for construction, all of those things.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
How long does it take to kind of get through what the rules, regulations, and then how they're actually going to dole out the funding? Is that a quick process, or do you think that this will evolve over a year or two?
They should have everything in place by June of 27.
Oh, well, that's not
So
bad.
it'll get not bad for government.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, not bad for government. So yeah, they should have everything in place, and that to take effect by I think it's July 1 of 2027.
Well, because I kind of posed that same question to a CID, or the New Mexico Regulatory Commission.
Sure.
And I was just curious, how often do licenses change? How often do requirements on licensing? I was surprised to find out that it's a lengthy process, including public input.
Oh, yes.
And so it's kind of nice, because being with the BBB and we're checking people's licenses regularly, I thought, well, gosh, is there a situation where it's changing so much on them that we're being kind of a burden instead of a help in checking the licenses? As it come to find out, it's a pretty lengthy process.
It is.
It's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise, and for good reason.
Yeah.
Right. I'm glad that while some people would say, well, that inhibits progress, right? I think to be thoughtful, to really go again to your point with taking public comment.
Yeah.
I think they want to give everybody enough time to fully analyze what kind of impacts it's going to be, whether those are licensure impacts, whether those are financial impacts for the industry in which they're going to be affecting. All of those things they really want to take into account, which I'm glad that we do that. So, and in some cases, it's kind of nice that we're not necessarily always trailblazers in some cases, because we get to learn from some of the experience of our other states that may adapt a little bit quicker. So it takes a while, but for good reason.
It's nice to be able to sit back and watch.
Sometimes, learn from other people's mistakes, maybe. Get some clarification.
Or likewise, things that they're doing well. To be able to adapt.
Absolutely, right.
I'm very, very excited to hear about the funding for the apprenticeships. So you kind of mentioned how there's more apprenticeship programs that are out there. When someone is looking, at different apprenticeship programs, what's the key that they should look at for, a level of accreditation of, this program versus that program? Because, as you say, it's a learn as you earn, but there's probably calibers of the training you're receiving.
There is, and sometimes it might just be personal preference. The state, so the regulatory body behind registered apprenticeship programs is Department of Workforce Solutions, right? They have a governing board, it's called the State Apprenticeship Council, and that council really does oversight over all of the apprenticeship programs. Now, whether that's IT, tech, coding, healthcare, construction, they take that and they kind of look for all of those things. So any registered apprenticeship program, if they are on Department of Workforce Solutions website, they have been vetted. We go through audits. There's very little. I shouldn't say very little. I don't even know that there is, like fly-by-night operations that can come in, set up an apprenticeship program that is registered by the state, and I think that would probably be key, right? And then dissolve overnight and nobody knows what happens. So I think that is by once they have gone through a state registered apprenticeship program, they're pretty much good to go.
Okay, good.
And they're regulated.
Because I was concerned how you were kind of talking about. When we do accreditation, that's part of doing the basis of doing the homework to make sure that the right company is getting the right money.
Makes sense.
Makes me feel good. How many graduates a year would you say you kind of get from your program, or is it very?
It varies, but we have been increasing by our graduates year after year. So we've had years ago, when I say this, really 15, 20 years ago, when I'm around the time that I started, we were in the teens. 15, 18, like that. We will graduate 90 apprentices this year.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So while 90 sounds kind of like not so big when you think about the state of New Mexico and the apprenticeship program, but for us and our program to grow to that level has been
about 800% increase.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
It's pretty significant, and of course we hear so much about the labor pool, diminishing and not having skilled labor, if you will.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like you're on the forefront of trying to fight that. Perception, if you will, that we don't have quality workers out there.
Yeah,
Sounds to
no.
me like there's good programs.
We do have good programs out there, and good contractors, right? Contractors are the ones that are paying for the apprentices to go through. They sponsor them into the program, and it really is a scholarship kind of based system.
Sure.
So the fact that contractors are, because we have even more contractors participating than we have in years past, so they are finding the value in having a skilled and trained workforce. They're finding
Absolutely.
the ROI in putting that money towards that person and that individual, and it's been working. So it really is a win-win for both the employee, the apprentice, and the employer.
If somebody's watching and wants to find out more about your programs, your apprenticeship programs, what's the best way for them to get information?
Probably right off of our website. That's www.abcnm for New Mexico.org. Right. That's there are we are a national association, so there are 67, 68 chapters throughout the U.S.
Right.
We are the one that we are a statewide organization, and yeah, it has all of the information, qualifications, what you need for an interview process, everything even about the trade, particularly, so that someone can go in and look and see what kind of trade that would best be suited for their needs. Yeah. So everything can be found on our website.
Well, and
we give a lot of tours on our facility as well.
I was just going to ask, and your facility is on Broadway?
It is. It's right in the kind of the center of Albuquerque, so Broadway and Manal. Yeah.
Okay.
We've got a 26,000 square foot facility, and expanding as we speak.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got a big build going on.
We do have a building going on. Yeah.
Good
Good thing we're getting that apprenticeship funding.
Exactly. Well, and you've got a lot of great programs. As a matter of fact, you have a good a benefit coming up.
So yes, we do. So every year we always love awarding our members for their their projects that they've been working on all year, and this year is no exception. We have 3 independent judges that kind of go through and judge them according to technical skills and complexity and all of those things, and then we get to give out awards for the stuff that they've worked on all throughout the year. So
That's fantastic.
yeah, and we love it when we get to see our apprentices, because sometimes they will bring them with them, which is nice. So they get to see that what they've done makes a difference in the community.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time
Oh,
today.
thanks.
Appreciate it. All right, we'll have more guests coming up, so keep an eye out for our future podcasts of CEO to CEO. I'm David Swope. I hope you have a great afternoon. If we could ever be of any service to you, bbb.org, the best way to reach us, or you can reach us at 505-346-0110.